All right. Hopefully you guys, like I said, have read or listened to the first chapter here. And I think what works best is if you guys we just talk about the things that stood out to you. We won't go page by page, but we'll simply talk about the concepts, the principles that stood out to you. So I want you to just raise your hand and say, you know what, I love this principle. And then what I want you to do is talk about how that principle applies to Beachbody and how you can improve on that, or maybe how the team can improve on that area. So Megan, I know you had notes. I was going to call you out. Let's hear what you have to say.
So something that stuck out to me when I was reading through, and it was listing the reasons that people don't mentor others, and one of them was lack of training. That kind of got me thinking, sometimes I feel like we give too much training. Because I know I don't give a lack of training, but then sometimes I wonder if my team gets too caught up in my training, that they don't execute on it.
Okay.
I love that you brought, Allie. I love that you brought that up, because I really think the same thing. And I've gotten feedback from some of the people on my team where they're like, I almost feel like I can't execute. And I know it's all, I don't know, sometimes I feel like they're all excuses. That's how I feel about myself. But when I stopped to think about it, it was they're like, I almost feel like I can't execute the basics because there's all these trainings about all these things. And if we just honed in on the basics, it would be more efficient, really.
When I got started with my coach, we kind of started very close together. She went Emerald with me, and we're both beyond Star Diamond now. But she was basically let's just get some people in this challenge group and go hit Success Club. And I was like, okay. And that was it. She's like, go find 3 people. And I was like, okay. And then I came back to her and I was like, I found my 3 people. I was like a little puppy dog. And she'd be like, okay, go do this. And then I would bring back a coach and she'd be like, good job. And that was all there was to it. And now I have all these crazy systems and groups. And I'm like, when is it too much?
Okay, I have this issue too, you guys. And sometimes I feel like I'm such a go-getter too, and I think I scare my coaches a lot. So I always try to say every few weeks, hey, if this doesn't apply to your specific goal, just skim over it. Because they see oh, there's an Emerald training. Oh my God, should I be doing Emerald training? Oh, there's a Diamond. Oh my God, I'm not even close to Diamond. And I don't know. I need help on this because I don't know how to get them to see that not everything I post is directed at them. And then we have those coaches who are like, that's totally directed at me. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're inside your head. But I have issues with this too. It's so hard. And I feel like I have all the training and I really think it's too much. I don't know.
Well, one thing that I think is helping me with that right now this month that I've done differently than years past is I've taken all my coaches who have hit Success Club and I put them in a separate group. So all my coaches that hit Success Club in December are in a separate group for January. And I give them way more informational training type posts and stuff like that. And then in my team page, it's more just kind of PD stuff, posting of the team calls, recognition. I'm trying to keep from overwhelming my coaches who either don't really work the business or aren't hitting Success Club or any of that, away from even seeing that kind of stuff. Because I think that reminder of everything that they're not doing can be really discouraging kind of thing. And then that still keeps them part of the community and engaged. Yeah, it's monthly. So, well, I just started doing it. It's going to be monthly. But for the coaches that are in there, they're participating way more than they ever did in my team page. So it'll close and open, close and open. And if you were in there before and you found it helpful, then it gives you something to work for to be in it the next month because you want to stay in there and get that extra mentorship.
I do something similar. I do the Success Club or Bust group at the middle of the month. So I'll put people who either have points already or who want to push for Success Club. Cool. I put them in a message thread and we just post in there daily each, what we're doing in terms of the vital behaviors every single day. Even if we don't do something, we post that too. But what I've found is that worked in the beginning, when I first started doing it, people were very engaged and it helped them hit Success Club. But then over the last couple of months, it's been sort of like where people stopped doing it, where they would stop posting daily in the message thread. And these are the ones who had said that they really wanted to go for Success Club, or they were so close and just didn't do it. So now I'm kind of at that same point where, do you push them? Do you not push them? And I guess you run with the willing, but I don't know, based on this book, like it says that everybody is motivated already, and that they're born that way. So we just kind of have to figure out what's standing in their way or what's beating them down, and then help them. They can be remotivated again if we help them get past it. So I'm thinking about that kind of stuff, because I don't know. I'm thinking about a lot of different things right now, but that's all I have.
I love that. Thank you for chiming in. You guys are hovering around this concept that I do want to bring out. If you have the book, it's on the bottom of page 7, leading into page 8. It says, raising people to a higher level and helping them be successful involve more than giving them information or skills. If that were the case, every new employee would go from his trainee to success as soon as he understood how to do the job. Every child would be successful whenever she learned something new at school, but success doesn't automatically follow knowledge. And then it pretty much goes on to say, we're human, and humans have the emotions and stuff like that. So and I talked to a lot of coaches who have hands down the best trainings, systems, PDFs, PicMonkeys, whatever you may be. And they say, look, it's just right here. That's all you need to do. And if you're willing, just go. But what he points out here is that same thing. That doesn't guarantee them success. And you can't look at them and say, look, apparently you suck because you aren't doing these things. There is emotion. So Teresa, you're chiming in. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things I wrote down, was success doesn't automatically follow knowledge. And it's kind of the same concept as what the other girls have been talking about. We have, with our new coach camp, kind of the way we do it is we have self-paced training. But, so once you've done those steps, you can't graduate out of the new coach camp, so to speak, until you're Emerald and you've hit Success Club at least twice, and you can run a group on your own. So we have some of these girls that have been in there for months and months, and they've done every bit of training that they can do up to that point. And so it's exactly that, success doesn't follow the knowledge. There's some other block holding them back from stepping out of their comfort zone or getting out of their own way and doing just those things that in our minds are pretty simple, of, finding your first initial 2 people to help you go Emerald, or getting Success Club for, maybe 2 months out of your coaching career. And I think one thing that kind of holds me back, is I think that I work pretty good with people one-on-one once we kind of have that relationship, but I get held up sometimes with that, when people talk about like the 80-20 rule, like how much of your time and energy should you be giving to people before they really, obviously when you first sign someone, you give them that time and that energy to get them rolling, but then, until you see them reciprocate, or that they're going to grow with this or put back the energy that you give to them, that sort of thing.
This is a definitely concept. I think you're not the only one that struggles with this. I think this is a very common theme. So let's quickly stay here just for a second. Does anybody have comments as to, not necessarily, I don't want you to say, well, this is the best thing, but what has worked in the past as far as helping people see the bigger picture in this, the same thing that Teresa was talking about. Does anybody have comments or even sympathetic remarks of like, yeah, I'm going through that, but here's what I'm trying to do?
So I totally relate to what you just said. I was actually writing the ideas down when you were talking about, like, my biggest thing is, how do you separate like that mentorship role that you're in as like the leader and whatever, but then on that flip side, how do you keep up with your own growth and your own stuff like that? And I just kind of lately I've been really trying to mastering the mindset of like work with the willing, because I feel like in doing that lately, like it's motivated me, inspired me. Well, they're doing it and they're building, so I can just build right alongside them instead of feeling like, okay, I need to cater to them and then I can get to my own stuff. It's more of a let's do this together. And I think that takes like the hierarchy thing and makes that the army across, because when I was so worried about, well, so-and-so's not working the business and so-and-so's not doing that, and like I need to motivate them and then I'll get to my invites and then I'll get to my success club. Now I'm just like, okay, so-and-so showing up, I'm showing up, we're just going to do this work together and we're growing, to get like, it's a level playing field. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'll be honest, that's one of the things that I sucked at really bad, because it was like, okay, I'm putting so much time over here trying to be a mentor and like, I'm not inviting, I'm not like, my stuff was like falling to the wayside. And I think in long term, it's that whole concept of like, lead from the front kind of, you know what I mean? Like be the example, and in doing that, they're going to be right next to you. So, and I've had like in the past 2 weeks, I've been really implementing that, and it's really like, I'm getting really good. Like my team page hasn't been better in a while. So it's really cool.
Hey, you guys, this is, you need to, and I know you know this, that extremely fine line of that you guys are trying to walk here between giving too much time and attention and hand-holding to people who don't give you results versus, you know what, just look, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And then like, I'm here if you have any questions, but I mean, I can't, there's that fine line that we're trying to walk here. And I love what he says at the very first page of chapter 1, where he talks about how most people who desire success focused almost entirely on themselves, not others, when they start to make the journey. He didn't say people who are successful. He said people who desire success usually focus on themselves. He says they usually think in terms of what they can get in position, power, prestige, money, and perks. But that's not the way to become truly successful. To do that, you have to give to others. So man, it's that fine line. So any other comments about this on what has worked in the past? Because you guys, once again, we need to understand, we all want to be successful. There's no question there. We all want to improve our businesses this year. We all want to develop diamonds who take off and do it. But we also need to focus on our business. And if you simply just focus on what you can do, and you'll find success, but that success will be capped. It will be capped. You won't get any higher, because at some point you're going to have to involve others. If you want to become a higher ranked team or make more money, you can only bring the success to a certain level. It's at some point that you're going to have to increase that cap. It's going to be involving others and developing leaders. So it can't be simply a me mindset. Jenny, you've been quiet. Let's hear what you have to say in regards to this.
Hey guys. So basically, well, the biggest thing that I've done is revive groups kind of, but it's more like revive your mindset. So I feel like if I have coaches that are stuck or not really going anywhere, I'm definitely finding that so I wrote down mentor equals finding first understanding yourself. I feel like a lot of our coaches think they know what they want and think even though we do training, so we'll back up. So after I got back from leadership, we decided to simplify our training because of what you guys said about it being us, meaning my husband and I, we're both coaches, so we work together. But we decided to simplify our training, and it's been better. But we found that even with simplifying our training, we needed to then kind of relook at everybody after a few months and help them to be revived basically within the mindset. So they needed to figure out who they were, meaning as far as what they can give in this business, instead of leading with, well, I want to build this business and these are my dreams and this is what I want to do. And I did the training, and it's well, wait a minute, who are you? What do you have to offer them outside of Beachbody? Do you know what I mean? Yes, this is what we offer. This is what we do. We support people. But as far as you go as a mentor, as a coach, what are you offering them? And so when we've helped them to revive their mindset that way, and they look at it in the sense of, oh, okay, well, this is what I like. This is what I do. This is what I can, I can add value here in my challenge group. And I think that it will really speak to, you know what I mean? Like, when we helped them do that, I feel like they grew more. So when I read in the book that part about needing to understand yourself first, I thought that was pretty important, because we really do need to help our coaches understand themselves so that way they can use that in their business.
Jenny, let me quickly ask you a question on this. Is this something you do on a one-on-one basis? Is this a team call? And then how do you find time? I know time is a valuable thing here for a lot of people, and they're like, I just don't have time to reach out to all my coaches. So how did you do that?
Well, I set numbers for myself, kind of like a power hour. Instead of doing a power hour, I do like power numbers or power time. So like if I'm doing follow-ups, then I give myself like an hour of follow-ups only, instead of saying like a power hour. Or I do numbers. So like I have check-ins and I have coach talks. So I usually do 10 check-ins a day. That's like one-on-one time with my challengers. And then I have coach talks. I do 5 a day. So I pick 5 coaches a day and I give them my personal time and I'll help them through that. But when I talk about the team, I'll run a group. So like basically it will be like, okay, next month I'm running a 5-day coach revive group. Who wants to be in it? Who feels like they're slipping or not going anywhere and really needs to focus or get refocused, whatever it is. And I'll have my team will comment, and then I'll, message them and be like, all right, kind of see like if they're really in it or if they're just trying to be in another group. If they seem like they really need the help and they want the help, then I'll put them in the group, and then we kind of just do it, within the group that way. So I do individuals daily, challengers and coach separate, and then I do a group like maybe every 3 months to revive the team, whoever wants to be in it. I hope that answers your question.
Wait, so Jen, you meet with people on your team like every day? You're talking to a group of them, and how do you like set that up so you're like not crazy?
Yeah.
I want to do that. Like I want to talk to them, but like getting everything aligned, like it's like I haven't found a good system to do that.
Well, okay. So 2016 ended not how I wanted it to end, and that's okay. But I really looked at going into 2017 and I was like, I need to do something that I haven't done before or that's outside of my comfort zone if I want to grow. So I always liked to do everything in groups because it was easier, right? It saved time. It was easier. But then there's those people that slip through the cracks, or I can't remember who said it, but somebody said earlier, like, so much training, so many groups, and everybody feels like they need to get in it. So it's like, as soon as I post, oh, I'm going to do a revive group, I was like, I'm in. And like half of them don't even want to do or don't even know what it is. So that's when I was like, I need to figure out how I can talk to my coaches and my challengers separately, obviously, because they're separate, but on a daily basis without going like cuckoo. So personally, I am not a morning person, but I just started getting up at 5:30 every single morning, and I work from 5:30 to 7:30 until I have to get my kids on the bus. And that's like basically when I set up my day. So obviously people aren't up at 5:30 in the morning to talk to me, but I've set up my day. I kind of like look and I see who needs help, who I think is, basically needs me to reach out to them. I'm talking coach wise. And I'll just say, all right, I'm going to reach out to them. I'll message them and say, hey, I saw on Thursday that you fell rank or whatever happened. Do you need some help? Would you like to talk to me? And it's usually not a video chat because I just don't have the time, but I use voice messenger. Oh, sorry. Hold on. One second. Can you say hi? Hi. This is Brock. So I basically will just shoot them a message like when I think it's an appropriate hour in the morning, and I'll say, hey, I have time today if you want to chat, let me know. And I kind of just have them bring up like one thing that's bothering them or that they need help with. And I use the messenger feature on my phone because I can do it in the car. I can do it when I'm playing with him or whatever. And I'll just have like, literally, it's just a little bit of a chat. Sometimes I answer their question and they're satisfied and we don't talk the rest of the day. Sometimes they need to talk to me throughout the day. And my coaches know, like, I'm always here to answer your question, but if I don't answer right away, like, it's because I have 3 kids and I'm crazy. But it's like, so they know. So some of it's just basically, I leave it open for the day. They know I'm talking to them that day. If I answer their question, they're good, perfect. If they need to do a different training, I put them in there. If they need me to help them on a 3-way message with a prospect or a coach of theirs, I say, sure, put me in it. And I give them my time, and then I kind of move on the next day, or maybe it's every 2 days, or you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I like that.
My brain is the way I work is so scattered. I like multitask upon multitask. So that's how
I think that's awesome. Now, when you talk to your challengers, is it like the same thing, just in the context of being like a challenger?
Yeah, it's basically like, how are you? So like, you know, if I run a free 21-day group every single month that starts the first Monday of every month. And hold on one sec. I'm sorry. What do you need, buddy? Where did it go? Did you take it off? Can you go ask Tori? Go ask Tori. We'll do it for you, okay? I'll be right there. I have one of my coaches here working with me today. Go ahead, buddy. Go ask Tori. She'll help you. I'm sorry. So the challengers. So basically, I will look at my list, see who I have a Google spreadsheet of who's I invited that month, and I'll like kind of go into my challenge group and look and see how they're posting, and then I'll just reach out to them and I'll say, hey, you know, how's it going? Because these challengers are not paid, so like they came in free. So I'll message them and say, hey, great job, saw your post, like you're killing it with your workout. How are you feeling? I know we're in week 2. You know, what are you getting the most out of this group? Are you feeling like you need something extra? And that's when the conversation usually goes down the road of, you know, offering what we do here in Beachbody. You know, I invite them to a sneak peek if I think that they've been super motivating and helping other people within the group, or if I feel like they are struggling, I'll call them out a little bit and say, you know, do you need a new workout? How are you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. And I've been leading with all access. I mean, since that thing dropped, best thing ever, ever. So I literally am like, I don't even bring up any other specific program. I just talk about all access and tell them how they can basically choose the program that they want to do and just run with it. And it's been great. So.
Barbara, you had your hand raised.
What I've done and adopted is for people who want to do it, I actually put out in my push group, my daily push group to my challengers, a link to like a schedule system to where I told them I can work with them one-on-one once a week. We can have like a weekly phone call, just me and them, to see where they are if they wanted to work with me. And then, you know, they just fill in their schedule. So I did it like for the entire month of January. I had openings, and then they could just fill in what times work for them. You know, we could just have like a weekly phone call one-on-one with any of the coaches that want to do it. So that's a scheduling system. I do it through the doodlepole.com, and it's really, really easy, and it's free. The other thing is that I always put in my group each month is that I have a mentorship program, a one-on-one, where I choose one coach per month who wants to be mentored, and they have to just fill out an application of why I should choose them. Now, when I first did this, I did have, you know, a coach that signed up for it, but I have not had any coaches ever since. Like at the middle to end of each month, I'll say, okay, I'm opening up now for mentorship for next month. If somebody wants to work with me one-on-one on a daily basis, you know, and I asked them in that application, what are your goals? You know, how can I help you with your goals? What are you looking to get out of it? Blah, blah, blah. And but I have not gotten engagement on that. So I don't really know what that is specifically. Like, I don't know if that's a matter of people just don't want to go there yet, you know, or if they're just kind of like, well, it's too much. I don't know.
Let me chime in really quick on this. And I've talked to a few of you about this, and so I apologize if this is a repeat, but I need to, and there's a concept that's being drawn out between the difference between Barbara, and your idea is phenomenal. I can't poke a hole in that mentorship thing, but people are unique in that if they're not called out specifically, they'll stay in the background. And you guys know this for anything in your team. Hey guys, I'm setting apart Tuesdays between 6 and 9 p.m. Anybody who wants to jump on a one-on-one, here's a sign up for a time. I'm happy to help. And you get goose egg. You get nobody to sign it because you didn't call out anybody specifically. What does work is when you go and say, Susie, I think you're a phenomenal leader. I see potential in you. I would love to schedule. I open my schedule from Tuesdays from 6 to 9. I have a slot at 6:30. Can you sign up for that time where we can chat and we can go over what it takes to become a leader? And then if we can talk about this mentorship thing, if that's something you're interested in. If you call people out, they will respond. People, that's just how humans work. But if you just put it out there to the universe, hello, universe, I'm free for whatever, you're going to have nobody sign up because you're not calling them out specifically. So that just that small concept can go a long way when working with teams. But be specific also in who you call out. Because you want the lowest hanging fruit first, the people who you really see the potential in, and then you work with them, and then as your time grows and you have you can expand, then you can work down the line, but simply start with that thing right there. So we're running a little bit out of time. I don't want to stray away too far from the book. There was one or two other concepts that I would like to draw out, but I want to make sure you guys have your notes, you pipe up as well. Was there any other things that you guys wanted to bring out in the first chapter that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, just at the end, something that really stood out to me was, and I think we know this as customers, but I don't think we remember it as much as, at least I don't, as much as a coach, that they buy into the person. They buy into us as people more than they're buying into our leadership. It's weird to me still when people are like, oh, I want to, I'm at your house. I'm like, so what? But they're like, they want to be your friend, and I of course want to be their friend. Like, I'm like, yeah, duh. But I think that when you get that kind of buy-in and that kind of relationship built with somebody, I think Teresa, it was you, said, I build a relationship with them. Like, yeah, if you build a relationship with them, that they're going to follow you along. And I watched other coaches able to hit elite last year because they have that relationship built with people, that because they knew that was their goal, their coach was willing to fight come hell or high water to make that happen for them, which is awesome. Like, that's what, you guys were talking about. It's like building an army of all togetherness, and I think we forget that sometimes. So I don't know if you guys have ideas on how you do that, because I definitely think I could do better at that, of sharing more of me with them. But I've been trying to do things on team calls, like everybody bring your favorite blanket to the call. Like, we're all sitting on our couches, our beds. Anyway, bring your favorite blanket. And then, like, I'll just tell them a story or something quick, like just to kind of build that camaraderie. And share a little bit more about me with them that maybe isn't something that I'm sharing, because we share so much with the rest of the world too. I want it to be special to them. So I just wanted to talk
Michelle,
about that.
Go ahead.
Well, something I wanted to kind of do that too with my team, like open up more about, because I think that, and I think Kevin and I talked about this at one point, like, I think, and I'm sure a lot of your coaches look at you too, like, oh, they hit Success Club every month. They're successful. It's so easy for them, when it's not. Like, we work our butts off. And so one of the things that I have been doing, I do it every Friday. I try to do it mostly every Friday. I call it Michelle Gets Real. And I basically, because another thing that's tough for me is tough love. So that giving tough love, that's one of the things that I'll discuss sometimes on those Michelle Gets Real, or I'll open up about myself and my own struggles, whether it's with my health and fitness journey or coaching journey or whatever it may be. And for example, last week, I was doing a lot of reflection. I shared at a Super Saturday this past weekend. So I was able to like really assess my business. I just hit 4 years, and, obviously, like, I would love to be further along in the business than I am. But when I really reflect back to how I started, how I was involved, the lack of personal development for me, to be honest, like, so I opened up to them about that. And basically it was Michelle Gets Real, my slow coach growth. And I basically shared with them, just opened up about, reflecting on how long it took me to get to where I was and why I know that happened. And my team appreciated it so much, just hearing that from me. And I think every week when I'm doing those, that was just my most recent one. I still have to do one today, but I think they appreciate hearing that so much. And sees, yeah, I'm not talking about my slow coach growth on social media and stuff. Like, yeah, that's not something that you like necessarily share, but so I try to think of things that I can share for them to have a better relationship with them.
Awesome. We have just less than 4 minutes. Anybody have a 30-second to a minute comment in regards to that? Because Michelle, that's phenomenal.
One thing that I did last year that was really successful, and like we got away from it because of the holidays, but I called it Wine and Why. And every Tuesday night of the month, we'd get on for Wine and Why. And I would ask, I would dig down into the depths of my downline, and we would get on and I had wine, but whatever they brought, and we'd all have a drink together, whether it was tea, whatever, and they would have to tell their story. And instead of because I think that on social media, when you get to even your personal challenge and coaches, you get the whole story, but in the seasons that it comes. And it was just a powerful experience, because then we all got to it was a call like this. We were all on, and I would say an intro or whatever about that person. And the week leading up, I would be in contact with them, getting to know them a little bit better. And if they wanted to practice with me. And so I could introduce them and pump them up a little easier. And then they would just tell their stories. And sometimes they cried. Sometimes they were wow, that felt so good to get off my chest. But then it gave everybody else listening an insight of who they were. And then from that, we built posts off of it. We helped each other say why don't you post more about that? You could touch so many people. That was a really big thing in my team that helped. Kind of like you said, Michelle, about how you did Michelle Gets Real. We just did that as a team, and that was pretty powerful too. So just as an idea.
I love that. Thank you for mentioning that. Guys, we are going to run out of time here. I hope you guys are understanding this concept of, if you want people to stay with you, if you want to grow as a team, as an organization, you do have to focus on people. This is a relationship business. If all you talk about on your one-on-ones and your team calls are, all right, who's hit Success Club, where you at, how many people are you inviting per day, yada, 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 you're a boss. And nobody likes their boss. Nobody likes to do that. Let's just talk about how life's going. Let's just talk about what struggles you're seeing. Let's talk about how the kids are doing. Let's talk about whatever it may be. That is what is going to build relationships. But let me just add on to that one little thing. When you have that relationship built, then you can start talking about the action items. Kumbaya moments are awesome, but they don't produce results. We are a team of doers, not planners. And so we need to do. Make sure that as you guys talk about these things, that you do things with them. And I have one last comment here in regards to, Tamara, you brought up this, people follow you because they believe in you. I'm going to make this very clear from a corporate guy. Guys, if you can't support SC10, don't do SC10. If you can't do SC15, don't do SC15. What I mean by that is, people who sign on with you, people who put their trust in you, deserve you. They deserve what you can give them. Do not go simply after numbers and have people fall off. Give people what they deserve. That will help build your reputation. That help build who you are, that your trust value. People will say, yes, I can go to this person and they can, and they'll give me results. But if you simply sign up and they fall off, and because they didn't get you, stop it. That's not how this company works. So, all right. So here, we're out of time, but here's what we need to do. Go to our group page, simply post what you think you want to do based on our conversation today, where you're going to try to implement it. And then I'm going to follow up with you. That's what I'm going to do for you. I'll follow up with you on what your plans are. If you're not going to do it, fine. But guys, make this call what it is. Get something out of this call. Do good out there. Thanks so much for participating. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.